Hi everyone, how are you all doing? My name is Natalie. If this is the first time that you're watching my videos, I am a Western tropical astrologer and I use a whole sign house system for all my forecasts and reading. So good to see you here and so happy that you arrived here if this is the first time. Thank you for being here. I hope that if you enjoy what I do and share on this channel, you can consider subscribe or share this with your friend. In this video, we are going to talk about this week astrology forecast, and I'm a little bit late. This Mercury retrograde has really been affecting me a lot when it comes to posting things and scheduling things, so I'm just finding myself constantly playing catch up with my work and my schedule and everything that I'm trying to juggle. So thank you so much for sticking around and being here with me as I am recording and uploading. It's already Monday, but this is one of the best way to work with astrology, is not just knowing what's ahead, but also able to come back and reflect and see how those energies showed up for you. Did you experience it? Maybe one aspect you felt it more deeply than the others, or you might not feel some aspect as much. This is because we all have different natal charts, different placements. You know, our Mercuries are not in the same sign or in the same house, and depending where they are situated and where are all these aspects taking place, they might or might not affect you as much. So just like how this Mercury retrograde affected me a lot, because I have a lot of planets and points in Scorpio and Sagittarius. Being a Scorpio sun and a Sagittarius rising, I feel this Mercury retrograde more deeply than maybe compared to someone that does not have the same placement. That to say, let's talk about this week. We have quite a few aspects happening and station. We have Mercury station direct. We have Saturn stationing direct. So for some of us, it can feel like this week there's some major things, turning points that is happening in your life. And for some of us, we also feel like we come to a point where we might need to make some important decision that can be life-changing, or it's just something that really needs our attention. Like it comes to a point where, okay, I got all my information, or time is up, now I need to decide. Now I need to make a move. Now I need to have this conclusion, or like make this choice for myself or for a situation, relationship, so on and so forth, work or whatever, right? So for some, this can feel like that because we have our personal planet, Mercury stationing direct. We also have Saturn that is stationing direct. So let's talk about them one by one. First of all, 24th on the Monday, we have Mars in Scorpio, squaring North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo at 14 degrees. So this aspect is going to activate the Pisces lunar eclipse that we have early in the fall in October 7th. And it was at 14 degrees, so it's right next to it. So for some of us, it might feel like whatever was happening or unfolding or developing in early October, now it comes to a point where you maybe need to make some kind of decision, where you might need to make some changes. You might need, Mars is also, you know, severing, cutting. You might need to let go of something, right? Maybe you need to make a choice to let go of a relationship, situationship. Maybe you need to cut off a person. Maybe you need to leave that job, you know, or maybe you need to make some kind of decision. Yes, no, so on and so forth, right? And on the same day, we also have Mercury retrograding in Scorpio, conjuncting Venus. So they're both in Scorpio at 22 degrees. So typically, whenever we have Mercury and Venus coming together in a conjunction, the first image, the first thought I have will be, lovely words, declaration of love and appreciation to someone. Is like, ooh, I love you, I want to be with you, I want to solidify this relationship, right? It's because Mercury is communication, thoughts, and ideas, and Venus is all about love and relationships, right? Or this is about you showing appreciation to someone that you love and care about. It doesn't have to be romantic. This can be, I love you, best friend, I so appreciate it that you're in my life, you know, something like that. However, this is also, Scorpio is also a sign where Mercury and Venus struggles a little bit, right? They're not as its best position. And Mercury is also retrograding at this point. So for some, it might not feel like that. It might actually be bumping into an ex today. Maybe your ex or you, vice versa, butt dial you. Or you accidentally press a like on your ex social media or a post, or vice versa. They might accidentally like your post or send a message unintentionally, right? Or maybe the past might come back and communicate with you, right? Mercury and Venus. This can be a friendship, this can be a romantic connection, an ex, or so on and so forth. If that is the case, we also have free will, right? We can choose to engage or not to engage. Or maybe this is a reminder that, oh, the past needs to stay in the past. It's a day to do some cord cutting work as well, right? So depending what that situation means for you, you can decide what to do with it. On 26, we have Venus activating the grand water trine energy. I said that because previously we already have Mercury and then Sun taking their turn to trine Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And now this week is Venus' turn. Venus will first trine Jupiter in Cancer at 24 degrees, and then Saturn retrograde in Pisces at 25 degrees on the same day. And Neptune trining Venus will take place exactly on the 30th. But overall this week we are feeling these grand water trine energy between Venus, Jupiter in Cancer, and Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, because they are very close to each other, almost at the exact degree. So we are feeling that energy overarching this whole week. So first of all, 26 is a beautiful day with the trine, Venus trining Jupiter in Cancer and Saturn in Pisces is a great day to do some magic if you want to, right? Venus talks about relationship, it talks about abundance, it talks about beauty, right? You can definitely also see what are the house topics that are in all these water signs, right? You can do abundance ritual, you know, beauty magic, and so on and so forth, whatever that feels resonating with you, right? And this grand water trine is also a great day. Venus and Saturn is a great day if it resonates to solidify a commitment or a relationship, even for someone, right? Venus talks about love and romance, relationship. Saturn talks about, you know, putting roots down on something, you know, committing to something. So this can also be a week where some of us might experience that, you know, solidify the relationship, bringing it to the next level, getting serious about something, ready to commit to something in the long run. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This can be a hobby, a study, a passion project, a path that you want to go on. Maybe you find out that you are passionate about this career path and you are ready to commit to it, right? And see where it will brings you. This can definitely talk about that. And I definitely know someone that is right on track with what I've just said. So this is really happening for some of us, right? And also with Venus trine Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter in Cancer is magnifying the connection that we have with each other, right? Cancer talks about nurturing, talks about collective care. So trining Venus and Scorpio is also an invitation for us to take a look at our relationship that is in our life, people that relate to, how do we center care and love with each other. And on a collective level, especially with all this wars, genocide, suffering that is happening around the world, how can we also center collective care? How can we contribute to collective care to make sure that those who are having a hard time, maybe struggling with grocery, with shelter, with having a hot meal in winter days in this northern hemisphere, or that is suffering from the ongoing wars and genocide, how can we help so that everyone, especially those who need, those that are in need, can receive the care that they deserve as well? On 27, Saturn is going to station direct at 25 degrees 9 minutes in the sign of Pisces. This is going to happen on November 27, 7:51 p.m. Pacific time, or earlier time zone, November 28, morning 11:51 a.m. Hong Kong time. So just the time according to where you are in the world. This is the last final time that we will experience a station of Saturn in the sign of Pisces, because very soon, in a few months next year, Saturn will re-enter Aries and stay in Aries, never go dipping back into Pisces, meaning this is also the last leg of our Saturn and Pisces journey. This is our last chapter, our closing chapter to our 3 years Saturn and Pisces journey for all of us, and each of us individually and all of us on a collective level. So this is definitely a great moment. Whenever planet stations, it's louder. So that's why I say this week with Mercury and Saturn both stationing direct, there might be some life-changing moment. There's some breakthrough moments, turning points, sudden changes, decision-making time for some of us, right? Something big might happen this week on a collective level, right? Regarding to our collective consciousness and collective liberation and care, right? This is also a moment this week especially, but also the next few months as we are closing out this Saturn and Pisces journey, each of us, to use the following few months to use it as a reflection to see how is this Saturn and Pisces journey has been for you, right? What are the themes and topics that Pisces is in your natal chart, right? Pisces also talks about our collective consciousness. It talks about things that we cannot see, right? Whenever we talk about Saturn and Pisces, it's almost like how can we insert something tangible to contain something that is intangible, right? This is a moment of like a very contrasting element, because Pisces is that vast underwater that has no boundaries and limits, whereas Saturn is the total opposite, is the container. So how can we contain something that is uncontainable, right? This can be our thoughts, this can be our intuition, this can be our compassion that we feel for people that we care and love about, for ourselves, for the collective world, for everyone around the world, especially in places that suffering are just taking place and it just feels overwhelmed. I do have a lot of water energy. That's why sometimes it's really hard for me to talk about these things, but it is important to talk about it, because if we don't, then it's just bypassing to me, and it's just not right in my own opinion, because basic needs, safety, shelter, food, water is something that everyone deserves, yet so many of us have way more than enough, but we're not sharing, or we don't know how to share, right? But some of us just constantly having those basic needs taken away or threatened by right? So this is also a moment to take a look and see, because personally, I feel like this past 3 years, this Saturn in Pisces is one of the toughest, saddest, and hardest transit we have to navigate on a collective level. But it opens our eyes. It wakes so many of us up to be more aware, to educate ourselves, to understand how it feels like it's so far away, but yet every day, some of the choices we make, how we spend our money, the brand that we spend our money on, actually have a direct effect to those who are suffering. So we actually are more powerful than we think we are. We actually have the power to create changes that we think does not matter, or it feels far away, or it feels like we can't do anything. But actually, if we go deeper, if there are enough of us to create those waves of changes, they can do magic and wonder and ripple out and really cause tidal change, right? It is possible if we continue to do so. I don't mean to get so serious and heavy and daunting, but this is exactly how Saturn in Pisces is. It changed the mood. It's very sobering. Yeah, Saturn in Pisces, because Pisces is all about escaping, right? Majority of us on a collective level, we're just not aware, right? Pisces is about our unity consciousness. Is about things we cannot see or we just don't know, and something that feels intangible, far away, right? But Saturn is trying to set boundaries, put it together in front of us, to open our eyes, to let the unconscious be seen, to let the unconscious be conscious, to open up our eyes, to let us know what is really happening in the underworld of some hidden agenda, or some whatever you want to say, that the government trying to do. And we have seen so much being revealed and discovered by the collective power, right? So it will be very interesting to see what is going to unfold in the next few months as we navigate through this last leg of Saturn and Pisces journey for all of us. And individually, I'm sure the past 2-3 years has been a struggle in some area of your life. And maybe there is something that you are trying to rebuild, that you have to rebuild, or you're being forced to rebuild, rethink, restructure, to start over even, or to learn to set boundary, to contain it, or to set some boundary to either protect yourself or to create a healthier relationship with. What is that? And how have that been for you? It's a week to reflect on those. And as they Saturn station direct, you might also feel like things that felt stuck, things that you have been working on, you might start to see some clarity. You might see a turning point. A path is starting to become clearer to you as to how you want to move forward to rebuild, restructure that area of your life, right? On the 29th, we have Mercury stationing direct at 20 degrees 42 minutes in the sign of Scorpio, 9:38 a.m. Pacific time, or on the 30th, 1:38 a.m. Hong Kong time. So now we are officially done with Mercury retrograde, but there is a post shadow phase, which is the phase 3 of this whole Mercury retrograde journey. So now Mercury will station direct, retrace, and travel through all the degree points where it was retrograded, all the way from 20 degrees 42 minutes in Scorpio, all the way up to 6 degrees in Sagittarius. So the phase 3, the post-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde begins today on the 29th or 30 up until mid-December, December 16 or 17, depending where you are in the world. This last phase of Mercury retrograde is when we see perhaps slowly, it might not happen right away, because whenever Mercury station is the loudest. So actually this week, you might feeling the most of the Mercury retrograde energy, like there's just a lot of confusion, there's delays, there's miscommunication, misunderstanding, there's like tech snafu or hiccups happening, but it's also momentary. It will clear up, it will start to clear up as we travel through the post-shadow phase. You might start to see confusion clearing up, clarity starts to come in, you might gain the knowledge you have, you might receive the answer, the decision that you need to make, you might have a clearer mind to see how things should go, you're ready to maybe close out something, make a decision, or decide on something that you have been stalling or going back and forth with about as well. So that is going to happen. So just give it some time, be patient. The next couple of weeks, you will start to pick up the momentum. But in the meantime, just be a little bit more patient. On the same day, we have Venus in Scorpio opposing Uranus and Taurus at 29 degrees. So this is an aneretic degree, 29. This can be, with Uranus, it can be a sudden change, shocking change when it comes to relationship, when it comes to money matters, right? With Venus. So this can, not everyone will experience it, but this can be a sudden breakthrough in one of your relationship, whether it's romantic or not. It can be a breakup, right? You just like, oh, you know what? It's just not working. Let's just break up. Yeah, this can really happen. I've experience it. I have friends, clients that experience it. It can happen, but not saying that everyone will experience it, right? It also depends on your own human story and how it aspect your chart. But yes, this can definitely be that. This can also be you bumping into a friend that you haven't seen in a while, or for some, this can be an X factor, right? With opposition, it can be something, someone that you might not be looking forward to bump into, right? Or you might receive a text, who knows, right? This can all happen. There can also, sometimes it can also be an unexpected or instant spark that you have with someone. But since it's very sudden, there's also a possibility that is gonna fizzle out. It might not be something very serious. So try to stay grounded, see what comes up, and try not to make some very impulsive decision that you might regret. But on a collective level, Taurus also talks about our global market when it comes to, you know, our stock market, our money matters, the banking industry, the cryptocurrency and all that. So there might be a sudden shocking news or changes that's happening in those areas today as well. So we will just have to pay attention to the news. Lastly, on the 30th, we have Venus in Scorpio trining Neptune retrograde in Pisces at 29 degrees. So this is again the grand water trine energy. We're feeling it all week, but we're feeling this trine between Neptune and Venus perhaps a little bit more today, right? So this is also the last time that Venus will aspect Neptune in Pisces, because next year Neptune will re-enter Aries and stay in Aries, just like Saturn. So this is the last week that all these planets will interact with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Neptune talks about imagination and dreams. With this trine, this is definitely a beautiful day to do some ritual surrounding, you know, your dreams, things that you want to, that you desire, that you would love to bring it into reality. This can be a day where you daydream a little bit about what you desire or what you're passionate about, what you want in your future, right? This one thing I do want to emphasize though, not everyone will experience water trine the same way, right? Because it is very easy for our mind to immediately think that, oh, it's a trine, it has to be something good. Oh, it's an opposition, it has to be something bad, right? It's very easy for us to come to this conclusion very quickly. However, I do want to emphasize, it doesn't mean good or bad. That not all trines are positive, happy, easy. Some trines can feel very overwhelming, and trines simply mean that something might happen for your greater good, but sometimes things happen for you for your greater good might not be sunshine and rainbow. Maybe a breakup needs to happen in order to bring you out from this relationship that is not serving you, but you won't feel like that at the moment. You will only feel really sad, right? But it is only later on when you reflect back you will understand why that happened. So with all these heavy water energy trining each other, for some people, not all, for some people it can feel overwhelming, especially those who don't work with water energy in a more flowy way, right? Whenever a person's chart has a lot of opposition with water energy, water signs, they might feel uncomfortable, they might feel overwhelmed, right? So this can also be a week where emotionally we are feeling a lot, we are feeling overwhelmed. And with the state of the world, I will not be surprised because of what is happening. So please do communicate, do have tools that support you, that grounds you, that centers you. Have your support system, someone that you can talk to, that you can seek help with when you feel overwhelmed. One more thing I want to say before we close is on the same day, on the 30th, we have Venus changing sign, entering the sign of Sagittarius at 12:13 p.m. Pacific time, or December 1st, 4:13 a.m. Hong Kong time. So Venus in Sagittarius is a big vibe shift compared to Scorpio. Very different. Venus in Sag is wild, it's funny, it's unhinged. It's also non-committal and can be a bit flaky. Because Sagittarius is all about fun. It's all about going on an adventure. It's not about the destination. It's the journey, is the process that counts, is what you've been through. So imagine you are going on a night out. You have no agenda of where you want to go. You're just planning a night out. You are following your heart. You are following what makes you happy. And you are bar hopping. You don't know which bar you're gonna end up. You just want to go out and have a fun time and have a good time. You might go to a few different places. You might try out different drinks. You might hang out with different people. You might cross paths with new people. You might bump into old friends, right? You don't have a set agenda or final destination. You're just gonna go follow the flow and go as you go, plan as you go, right? And you don't know how long you're staying in one place either. You might stay in a bar 10 minutes and you decide it's too boring, you want to leave. You might stay there for a couple hours because you are having fun and you are enjoying your conversation or your drinks, right? So that is the vibe with Venus in Sag. So you might find yourself interested in different things, but you might also lose your interest very quickly. You might be feeling passionate about a hobby, a subject, a person, but then maybe a few days later you're like, you know what? I'm too impulsive. Actually, I don't want that. Actually, he's not that cute. Actually, she's not my type, you know? I'm just gonna change my mind. Move on, right? So also beware of that energy. Venus in Sag can be very passionate and flirty. It's fun, it's flirty, it's wild, it's a bit unhinged and adventurous, and it is alluring, but it is also dangerous sometimes. So you got your warning sign. But I'm not trying to shade Venus and Sagittarius people, okay? You guys are a good time. Maybe you just need some anchor, right? Or you might just need more time to really get to know that person. Who knows, right? I can be wrong, but this is the general energy, right? Sagittarius also talks about religion, beliefs, philosophy, spirituality, travel, foreign lands. So during this transit, you might find yourself drawn to these topics as well. Maybe you are planning a travel trip. You got drawn into some philosophy or spirituality modalities and want to learn more about it. Maybe this is a transit where you decide you are going to go on a quest to find out something that intrigue you, or something that tickle your fancy, whatever that is, right? And this can not just be about relationship. Like I said, this can also be you cross path with someone from foreign land, or and yes, maybe for love, maybe you might find love in distant land. You might go travel and meet someone, and you might have a fun time, but nothing serious. Or who knows, it might turn into something serious down the road. Maybe someone that sit next to you on a flight become your special someone. Who knows, right? But it's gonna be fun regardless. And if that is the case, let me know. I would love to know. Venus is going to stay in Sagittarius until December the 24th. This is a week. Quite a lot is happening. For some, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like it's a big week where you have to make some kind of changes or decision. Breathe through it. I am here with you every step of the way. If you want to have a personal consultation, email me in the description box below. Follow me on Instagram, my social media, and I'm wishing you all a great week and sending you all so much love. Thank you for being here with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.